All right, guys, welcome to the Hunting Dog Public Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Moreland, and tonight we're doing a competition breakdown. We have Mr. Chad Risner on the line. He won the Pro Sport Nova, Ohio truck hunt. How are you, Mr. Chad?
I'm good. How are you doing?
And I'm doing wonderful. Tell us a little about yourself and where you're from.
I'm from kind of north central Ohio, a little small town. I'm actually from Willard. I live in Plymouth now, which is only, I don't know, 4 or 5 miles from Willard, probably. So I'm pretty much right here where I was born at.
I got you. And what about your little Jip named Fire? What's she out
Uh,
of?
she is out of Shot Through the World, and I'm not 100% actually on her mom, what her mom's name was.
I got you.
So, yeah, I don't really own her. I was just handling her for Kevin Martin and Cody Sheets. That's who really owns her.
Okay. How long
And
have you been hunting her?
I actually have a litter of pups, and they sent her to me, and I had 3 weeks to get her ready for the hunt. That was the first time I'd, ever been in the woods with her 3 weeks ago.
Wow, 3 weeks and win a truck. Must
Yeah,
have,
that's pretty.
y'all must have everything going good for you.
Yeah, I had her, I think, 21 nights, and I hunted her 19 of them, or
Oh wow,
something like that. I had to give her a break for the Friday there. I laid her up one night. We was here all night the night before. But yeah, she was looking pretty good right before we headed out for that one.
I got you. And you told me earlier that you would hometown boy. You lived about how far
Yep.
from that hunt?
I'm probably maybe 30 miles or a little less. It's
Wow,
not very far at all. It's a club that I go to all the time.
that's cool. I got you. So we're gonna start off with your first cast and work our way through the cast and how you won. I kind of want to know if there's anything that stood out to you mentally while we're walking through them. If you could tell us, but cast one. Do you want me to tell who you drew out with, or do you remember everybody's name and their dog?
Yeah, I think I can call
Okay.
everybody I drew out with. I had Dustin Weed, and he was hunting a Phantom dog. And then there was Norm Starling with Airplane. And then there was a guy named John Bassett with a dog named Joe that I'm not too familiar with. But
Okay. And y'all get to the woods. What kind of woods was y'all hunting? Big woods, field
yeah, I
rows?
was actually guiding, and we there's a peach orchard down the road from my house, so we drove to the end of that peach orchard and the edge of the woods, and there was corn on one side of it, and we cut them in between the corn and the woods there.
All right. So when y'all cut, walk us through the events. Who struck first, second, all that.
All right, we cut the dogs loose, and I think the Joe dog struck first, and Phantom dog struck second, and then we had a little question on the third call. Norm struck in for 50 with the airplane dog, and
Okay.
Dustin said he never heard him bark in there, and he brought it to a vote. And honestly, I don't know. And that's what I said in the cast. I'd never
Yo,
hunted with any of them dogs. I didn't know what they sounded like.
it's tough to know a dog's bark when you've
Yeah,
never hunted with
and
one.
and they asked the other guy, and he said it was all his dog. He never heard uh, Norm's dog. So Dustin gave him 50 minus, and that kind of got off to a bad start there. That's for sure, right
Yo,
there off the bat. It was kind of a tough cast after
okay.
that.
So where did you strike in at?
Well, I ended up on the scorecard going in for a quarter, in which I kind of questioned, but there were so many questions at the end. It wasn't going to make a difference in the cast whether I went in for a quarter or 50. So I just let them leave it at a quarter. But the way I looked at it, I struck in after Norm had been minus. So I should have really struck in for 50, I believe,
Yeah. But you had that question on the card?
No, I never even questioned it. I
Okay.
mean, I didn't even really know that it was like that. I just assumed he put me in for 50, and I asked him later on, and he hadn't. But like I said, it didn't come down to a quarter. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know. I didn't really realize it was like that. I hadn't seen the scorecard on in the hunt. I just assumed once he minus Norm, and I struck in. I was 50, but he.
I got you. All right. So we're sitting at Joe for 100, Weed
Yeah,
or Phantom with Weed for 75. You was
yeah,
at a quarter, and Norm was in the whole 50.
yeah.
Who? What happens from there? Who? Somebody get treed first?
Yeah, there was a little, back and forth going on there. And I don't know, Phantom, he was down there treed, and my dog was treed with him there, and Dustin treed, and I treed right behind him. And
So Dustin treed for 100. You treed for
yeah,
75.
yeah.
Okay.
And
You're breaking up on me. What was that?
I said we walked into them
Okay.
there, and they had a coon there, so
So
we walked them our time there and recut them.
so at this time, Weed's sitting at 175 plus, and you're sitting at 100 plus.
I believe, yep, that's the way it was.
Okay.
He had 175, and I had 100. And at this time, the other boy trees the Joe dog in there, and he's back towards in front of the truck there. I don't know. He wasn't real far in there, probably 300 or 400 yards, I guess. And so we go to him, and he's got a coon, so that put him in the lead.
Yeah, he's at 200.
Yeah,
So
we
you in
still,
third at this moment.
yeah. So we recast him, and we Dustin trees next, like across this cornfield over in this little patch of woods. And we have to walk this edge all the way around to get to him or walk straight through a cornfield. So it took us a while to get over there. And on the way over there, Fire had treed and I treed her. So we walk and score Dustin's tree.
Did he have a coon?
And no, he was treed on the edge of a cornfield there on a small tree, which we had another little incident, I guess, about that. I don't know. We all voted different on the tree anyway. It was a
What was the tree
questionable tree.
circled? Minus.
Yeah, it was circled. It
Okay.
was circled.
And Dustin's weeds tree was circled. His second tree was
Yeah,
circled. Okay, so we're walking the
yeah,
fire.
yeah. So we get to Fire, and uh, she's over there on I don't know, just a bunch of thick mess, viney trees going everywhere. And I shine, shine. I can't find nothing right at the end of the shine time. There's a big oak sitting right next to it, and I found the coon in it. And I mean, whether it crossed or not, I don't know, but
Was they
I
close?
showed it. It was pretty close. I mean, I kind of thought, I knew it was kind of iffy, but you know what I mean? I
You got to try.
showed the coon to the cast, and everybody voted, that it couldn't have crossed or whatever. So
So you
it
sitting
is
at
what it
a
is.
circled tree, and Dustin sitting at a circled tree,
Yep.
and
And
you're 100 plus,
we,
and Weed's 175 plus,
yep,
and Joe is still at 200 plus.
yep,
Okay.
yep. Joe's got
Is
200.
Norm treed or anything at this time?
Well, at that tree there, Norm trees his dog while we're shining my tree. Ain't nobody hears his dog, you know what I
Well,
mean, when he trees it.
you're standing next to
He,
your dog barking. It's generally
yeah.
pretty hard to hear one barking off in the
Yeah.
distance.
I mean, if it would have been me, I would have waited till we pulled my dog off. But,
Yeah.
whatever. He trees him. Weed takes his and minuses him, 100. And so this is when another, incident kind of happens. We're walking my dog to recast her, and that's when they kind of get into some arguing, and
Yeah. And
Norm ends up threatening him, and he scratched him,
yeah.
Like, I mean, he should have been scratched. I mean, he took it too far.
Well, the rules say if you holler at folks, what is it? First is a warning and second's a scratch. So
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
So
it was out of hand. I mean, it
w-
was a little excessive.
yeah. Well, whatever happens is in the past. Uh, we are real passionate about these dogs, and you know, it is what it is. So at this point, Norm scratched, and you're sitting. I guess you're still sitting in third, correct?
Yeah, I still got 100, and he's got 175, and Joe still got 200. Joe, we ain't heard nothing from him for a long time. He ended up getting on the other side of the truck, and we never heard him the rest of the hunt. But when we pulled off that tree there, uh, weed trees, that phantom dog in there. And I kind of am thinking to myself, it's close to back where him and Fire treed together there in the beginning.
Yeah.
But I don't know where his dog's at for sure, but it just seems like it to me. And well, when we start walking to him, well, at this time, Fire, she went down the edge of the woods about 500 and just fell treed. And I treed her, and
So
we
y'all
get
are
in
walking the
there.
weeds tree first.
Yep, he treed first,
Okay.
and it's a long way. I mean, they're spread out a long ways apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're opposite ends of the woods,
Okay.
and
So you think it's half a mile walk? You think it's
yeah, every bit of it, probably more of it, probably like 7/10 or something, I'd
okay?
say.
So a long
And
walk to weeds tree.
yeah,
Okay.
well, yeah, it was still a long walk, but in between two dogs, there was at least that far. I'd say, yeah, probably about a half a mile, from where we were standing at the time.
Yeah.
And so we get down there, anyways. We get down the weeds tree, and it is the same tree that him and Fire was on, where they treed the coon at in the beginning of the hunt.
Okay.
So it gets deleted. He recasts, and we take off walking back to Fire.
Okay.
And like I said, she's a long ways.
And you're
And
probably struck in for a quarter at this time, correct?
yep, I'm struck him for a
And
quarter.
100 pending.
Yep,
Okay.
yep, I got 125
So
pending in
so
there.
from weeds tree to the fires tree at this moment, this will be Fire's third tree. How far of a walk do you think this is?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's probably 7/8 of a mile.
Okay, long
We're
long
in a
ways.
big
And
block, and they're on the opposite ends of it almost.
about would you happen to have any remotely idea about how much time was left in the hunt when y'all walking to that third tree?
I'm not exactly sure.
A
I
close
know how
guess.
much. I'm gonna guess a little over a half an hour
Okay,
probably,
so
because
probably 40 minutes ish.
maybe, yeah.
Okay.
And because I know once we got to my tree and scored it, we had 14 minutes left.
Oh wow.
So
Okay, so I assume you had a coon in that tree.
yes, she had a coon over there,
Okay, so that
and
that
the way
puts
it,
you at 275 plus.
yeah, I think I would have had two and a
Two, two,
quarter.
two and a quarter. Two and a quarter. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Two and a quarter plus is what you're sitting at right now, and Weed's at 175 plus, and Joe's at a 200 plus.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. So from there, it's pretty much we got to walk all the way back over before we to where we heard these dogs last.
Yeah.
So by the time we do that, we got 2 minutes left in the hunt, and we're pretty much just running the time on their dogs to end the hunt out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They were never hurt or treed again.
You
So
didn't.
I
You had
never,
to chain. You
I
had to
know,
walk yours on a lead back to that spot, didn't you?
yeah,
So
I never got turned back loose after
well,
that tree.
at least you didn't have to go on a wild goose
Yeah, it
chase
worked
trying to
out
find your
good.
dog.
I didn't have to go find it. It did work out good.
Okay. So that was a relief, I'm sure. After all that happened in that cast, it was probably a lot going on and very stressful environment.
Yeah, it made it. It definitely was. It was hard to hear your dog out there and everything with
Yeah.
what all was going on. It was. I
Okay.
mean,
All right. So y'all go back to the clubhouse. Y'all held it a late round that night, didn't you?
no, I
Oh.
didn't. We had a late entry, and since I got in, we got rid of the late one.
Okay. I see. I see. Y'all had two entries the first night, but you didn't use the second one since you got in the first.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So y'all got rid of that second entry that night because y'all didn't need it. So cast two will be what was that, Saturday night?
Yep.
Cast
Saturday
2 was
night.
Saturday night, the early round.
Yep.
Do you remember who you drawed on that one?
Yep. I drew Cody Stallard with the chick female. She's a real good one, and there's all good dogs in that cast. I mean, we had a shootout. Michael Ward had Cap Dog, and Kevin Morehouse had Willow female.
All right. Now, what kind of woods was y'all hunting on this second cast?
Well, it happened to come out. The guy that judged us, uh, he like runs a little coon hunters club over here in Greenwich, and we met him over there. And they got a real nice woods out back, man. It's beautiful and full of coons. And he ended up just guiding us right back here behind the Greenwich Coon Hunters Club.
So big
Man, we
hardwood.
treat 12. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we walk them right. There's a big old pine back here. There's corn on the left side of it. Corn all the way around, pretty much, with a little bean field down there where mine actually ended up treeing at the end of the hunt. But I mean, this cast here, we treed. I think we scored on 12 coons back there.
Wow. And they say competition coon dogs don't have coons.
It was a shootout. It was back and forth all night. Every time we scored a tree, the lead would change.
Yeah. So
It was a good one.
y'all walk to a big pine tree behind the clubhouse and y'all cut them. Tell me who
Yeah.
strikes in.
They pretty much strike right there, and I strike him for 100, and Cap strikes him for 75, I believe. And I believe that, yeah, I know he struck him for 75. I'm not sure if Cody or Kevin struck him for third and fourth, but
All right. Well, we'll just guess on it. But
yeah,
all right. So y'all all strike in.
yeah,
Who trees
and
first?
we ain't there very long. Cap trees, all right, right, just a little. I mean, in front of us, just to the right a little bit. We're sitting there listening to him, and my dog and Willow were working up to the left of us there, and all of a sudden they both just come treed up there. I don't, whichever one. And Kevin, he got the first tree there, and I took 75, so I'm sitting with a first strike, second tree over here. But
Yeah.
we go score Ward's tree first. He's got 75 and 100, and it's a big tree, big oak tree, I think it was, and pretty much in the middle of the woods, and we shine it, and we don't find a coon on it, and then
So it's
so
circled
now,
up.
yeah, it gets circled up. So now, I mean, Fire and Willow, they're probably, I don't know if they're 100 yards away from Cap, and we walk over there to score their tree, and we find the coon on their tree.
And you're sitting better because you had better strike points, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I was beating him by a quarter there, maybe 50. It might have been 50. I don't know. I was either beating him by 25 or 50
Okay.
after that
So we'll
first
just say
tree.
you're sitting at 175 for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah, it's kind of
oh,
hard to keep up
scoring
with
on
the
12
scores the way
coons.
it was going. Yeah, it was just,
Yeah.
I mean, nonstop.
Well, just
But
tell us. Well, who does the chick dog ever get treed in before
no, she
y'all
hasn't
tree?
been. No, she hasn't been treed in at this point. No, she hadn't, because we had actually cut back loose, and I got treed again down along the cornfield, and it was, I don't know. There's like five trees coming out of the base of the tree, is all viney. I end up being a circle tree,
Okay.
and at this time is when Chick gets treed, and actually Willow trees with her for 75. And we're all going, of course, in for a quarter at this time. And they got a coon down there. And then Michael trees, we go to Calf, he's got a coon. And then I think I tree after that, we go to me, and I got a coon.
This
And,
competition breakdown gonna be
man,
complicated on this one.
it is, man. I mean, it's just like walking from coon to coon back there is what we were doing. I
So
think.
was y'all just an overview? Was y'all treeing like was y'all having to walk half a mile or a few hundred
No,
yards?
No, I mean, in the beginning, we never did walk very far. That's kind of what kind of got Chick out of the ball game there. She treed a coon and she got way out in a patch out in the middle of a bunch of the fields. And, with us just staying in that woods treeing coons and walking back and forth between them three, he never really got to hear her,
Yeah, it's
until we
tough to
got
hear
around to
dogs.
that side of the woods. I mean, we was just treeing coon after coon, and it was. But anyways, they come down to the end of the hunt. I was losing. There was 7 minutes left, and
How much was you down? Let's ask that question.
all right. So I ended up winning by 50, and I scored 100. He had 500. I ended up winning by 50, and I scored 100 and a quarter on the last tree. So I'd say I was down. Uh, I must have been down 75.
Okay, so you was down 75. Who was winning?
uh Kevin Morehouse and the Willow Dog.
Okay, so Kevin Morehouse was winning, and you said how many minutes is left to go in the hunt?
Uh I mean, there was only when I treed mine there was 7 minutes left. But Cody had treed his dog, finally heard his dog and treed right before mine got treed. And she's way out there, so we gotta walk to her first and then come back to Fire. And Fire's just across the woods made like a big C, and she went around the edge, and she's pretty much just straight across from us. I don't know. She probably is only 300 yards from me when I treat her there.
Yeah.
But we had to walk half a mile probably out to Cody's dog and score
Now,
him first.
the way you said it, he was kind of out of the ball game though, wasn't he? Because his dog had been out there and out of the.
Yeah, his coon really didn't matter, but Kevin didn't want him to. He wanted to just withdraw and go get his dog, and it's such a tight race. And I don't. And Kevin's dog was kind of out that direction, and I don't blame him, for
Yeah, he
wanting.
wanted him to go
He
score
didn't
that
want
coon to get him
Cody. Yeah,
away
he
from
wanted to
y'all.
go score that coon, but I mean, just as it just happened, I mean, it was just like it was perfect timing for the tree right there because Cody, they were starting to put the stationary on him. And he's like, well, just, tree her. And we sit there a minute and we're about to start walking to Cody's dog and she gets treed right there. So I get to tree her before we ever walk off out of that area. So,
You probably couldn't have
yeah.
heard her from where y'all walked to, could you?
Yeah, I don't know if I could or not. I heard her a mile away in the
Oh
late
wow.
round, but yeah, she
Okay.
don't. You wouldn't think she's that loud, but you can hear that little dog a long ways.
So um, when y'all get done searching Cody's tree, is the hunt over with at this time? You just walking back to your tree?
Yeah, the hunt's over.
So
It runs out going out there.
you've
So
got
Morehouse don't get treed back in.
how long a
Is
walk
is
you think from Cody's tree to your tree, that last tree?
I'm gonna say it probably took us 10 minutes or something because there was pretty much a waterway that went through this cornfield that went to the corner of the woods that she was right down the edge of it, not very far. So I was gonna say it's a 10-minute walk probably.
What was going through your head at that moment?
Yeah, I was nervous about it. She'd been over there messing around for a while, and I think, and she's a pretty open dog on the ground, and she wouldn't bark, and I think she found him laid up over there along this bean field. But yeah, I wasn't sure. It was a little nerve wracking walking over
It was a
there.
long 10 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah, I couldn't wait to. I don't know. I'm just always in that situation. I just want to get my hands on them, get them tied up, you
Yeah,
know. But
I got you. So you get that second round one with 550, correct?
yeah,
550 plus and 125 circle.
yeah,
Well, that's a big round.
yeah. She really looked good that round, and
So,
I mean, like I said, man, all them dogs did. It's
you know,
just, I mean,
now how far did you?
anybody could have won that cast. I mean, I think Michael was probably still even in the cast, if his dog would have got treated in there at the end, maybe if I wouldn't have had a coon, I think he'd have probably might have won. I mean, it was close. It was just like every tree the lead was changing.
You know, that's a bunch of good dogs treeing coons.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't have maybe two circle trees, and I mean they were big trees. It's hard to say.
Now,
So,
how far did you say that was from the clubhouse? You had how far of a drive back?
maybe it's not very far. Probably 15 minutes,
Okay.
20 at the most.
and y'all had to wait on the other cast to get in. So,
Yeah,
how long did y'all sit around the clubhouse?
man, it seemed like a long time. I'd say I know it was over a couple of hours before we even took off from the club. From the time I got there, or from the time I had quit hunting, it had been over. I'd say it'd probably been 2.5 hours from the time we left the woods first.
Well, I got you. So y'all got
We were
done
like
sit.
the first ones back. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I had to wait on the other three.
So y'all got done sitting around, and y'all finally figured out. Did y'all go ahead and take pictures at the clubhouse, or did y'all wait?
Uh, we had took pictures earlier that day before the hunt,
Okay.
but yeah, for the late round, I guess we did take a picture before we went back out on the late round on
Yeah.
Saturday.
And for those of y'all that does not know, on the Pro Sport Facebook group, there is a video of the final round. Mr. Judas Bolin videos it, and he done a great job. Thank you, Mr. Judas, for staying and I guess putting forth the effort so that we could see it at home. But so, who did you draw on cast three?
All right, on cast three, I had John Strickland and Page Dog, and then it was Nikki Hale and Up, and Nick Brady and Hart.
Okay. So, how far did y'all go from the clubhouse to this
We
third
went
cast?
we went about pretty much right over in the same area we had hunted earlier. Not the same woods, but right in that area. It wasn't very far at all.
Yeah.
So 15, 20 minutes again.
So, was it the same similar woods, big trees with fields around it?
Yeah, it had some fields around it. The only difference this woods was kind of like there's a river that runs through it. I think it's the Vermilion River. It's kind of a river bottom. But up in the spot where we first turned it loose at it was some real nice clean woods.
Now, when you
And
say a river, are we talking
yeah,
about like a unpassable river unless it's by boat, or is it something that you can walk across?
yeah, I guess you could probably walk across it. You could probably find a spot to walk across it if you had to, especially right now because we ain't had a whole lot of rain. I mean, if we had a whole lot of rain, then you probably couldn't.
I'm trying to wrap
But
my head around
there's
it. Like is it 20
well,
yards wide, 40 yards wide?
yeah, it's at 20. Yeah, it's
Okay,
not no huge river.
okay.
It's
So it probably don't have big boats in it then.
no, you ain't taking no boat. I
Okay,
mean, you don't
uh,
want it, but no.
I'm with you. So y'all get there and y'all turn, which on the video I see y'all do all the introductions and they who's hunting and Greg talks about I guess what's gonna happen and then y'all get ready and y'all cut loose.
Yeah,
Who do you remember who struck in first?
yeah, up struck for 100 right there. I struck right there when we turned them loose. I struck for 75, and I believe Paige struck for 50, and the other dog Hart struck for a quarter.
All right.
And
So they all trailing. Who comes treed first? I guess we'll go with it.
okay, all right. Rustic Cast kind of goes to the right. Well, Fire, she kind of went to the left of us a little bit, hit the edge of the wood, and she's trailing down the edge of the cornfield, kind of going behind us. And she gets just a little ways down there. There's a little patch of woods that kind of butts up to the woods we turned into. And as soon as she gets down that corner, she come on a tree good there. I treed her. And I don't think, I think the other guys got treed in, but they're way back behind us, I think,
So you're
before
walking to
we
your
go
tree
score
first.
my tree. Yeah, we're walking to my tree first. I got treed in first. I'm pretty sure that Paige and Up got treed while we was going to my tree, or right after we scored it. They did.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was before. But anyways, we get over there, and it didn't take long. We found the coon, and that gives me 175.
Yeah.
So now we're walking to Paige. Actually, Hart ends up getting treed, and I guess she's farther in than them, they're saying. And I walk my minute and recut, and we go walking the page and up. We kind of think they're together, but then we get in there, and Paige is in a hole, and up's, I don't know, maybe 50, 75 yards right of her, and he's treed on a tree. He's split, so he got moved up to 100 there. But
Okay. Did y'all find
anyway,
the coon?
no, no. Anyways, we go. John, he had treed first, so he searched the hole pretty good and didn't find anything. They circled him, and then we went over to Nicky pretty much and searched his tree. We couldn't find the coon. They circled him. So now we're going to go walk in the heart, and Nick tells Maynard just to go ahead and minus him. He said she moved on. So now I'm treed in, so we got to go turn around and kind of walk back behind us a little ways to where Fire's treed. She ain't very far away, maybe 300 yards.
So you're struck back
And
in for a quarter, and you're treed
yeah,
for 100 pending.
yeah.
Okay.
And then we get over there anyways, and we start shining and find the coon. So that puts me up to 300.
Yep. So you're
And
sitting at 300 at that moment plus,
yeah, and
and
I think
Nikki Hale is
he's got
sitting with the
200
two.
circle.
Yep. And Strickland's 150 circle, and
Yeah.
Hart's was at 125 minus.
She's at 100 minus. She didn't get minus on her
Oh,
strike
I'm
there,
sorry.
just her tree.
Yes.
And so, anyways, I walk her off that there, and Nikki trees up, and I recast, and we go to up, and he happens to be in the same hole that Paige was in. And
Well,
so that just gets deleted, and he walks him, recast him. And then John, Paige, she trees. I mean, I'm going to say she was over a half a mile away, but she's way out this fence row going way out. I mean, side of the woods, there.
yeah.
And we're going to be walking away from mine the whole time, which I'm thinking is perfect. It's
Yeah.
like I don't really want to hear her no more. And
Yeah,
so,
because they
anyways,
got a
we
tree, what?
three
Yeah.
can. I'm thinking to anybody can catch me if as long as we keep going in for a quarter.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we score that tree. Paige has got a coon. We start walking her up the fence row back towards where the woods we just come out of, and he recuts her. And we're sitting there, and the bean field there, we stop, and I'm thinking I'm not going to hear mine. I know she's treed, but she's 0.96 away from us.
Well,
So we stop, and you can just hear her clear as day in there, treeing every breath. I'm like, oh, man,
they
might
asked
have
for
to
a
tree
call,
her,
or did you go ahead and
Yeah,
call her?
well, no, yeah, they said went ahead, and as soon as we stopped there, not long, he put the stationary on her. And I knowed she'd been treed there for a long time,
Yeah.
already. And it's pretty hot out. It's muggy and stuff. And I was like, I'm not, she's pretty good about not leaving trees. I'm just gonna not make her sit there another 6 minutes. So I just go ahead and tree her.
So at this
And
time, how much time's left in the hunt?
man, I think there was probably like 40 some minutes still left in the hunt. But
Wow.
like I said, she's a mile away. I
And you're
mean,
going to be
she's
walking
right
away
at a
from
mile away.
you're walking away
No,
from
we're
everybody else's dogs, ain't you? Walking to
yeah,
her.
yeah. And we stopped, and I mean, give them guys, the option, a little bit of time to listen for their dogs and stuff along the way. So it took us a long time to get over to where she was. I mean, the hunt's pretty much over by the time we get over
Yeah.
there. Because we got to walk through bean fields, woods, bean fields.
Yeah.
It was a long walk. It felt like it took forever, that's for sure. But I mean, I pretty much the only way I could lose was if she left and Paige, treat another coon, or it was Slick and Paige treat another coon.
So
So
did she have her last coon?
yep, she had a coon
So
down
she's
there, so it
sitting at
didn't matter.
425.
Yep, that's what I ended up with. I never cut back loose off that tree there. It
How
was
much
over
time
with.
was at the end of that?
There wasn't really. I mean, it was over. You know what I mean? Time we got there and scored her tree and stuff. Uh, Nicky had treed his dog going to my tree, and then they had to go score it yet after I tree or my tree, and he actually ended up having a coon, I guess, and that give him second.
Yeah.
So, because he
Now
had a circle tree.
that man, doing what you've accomplished this weekend, I'd about challenge anybody to try to beat some better handlers and dogs. I mean, you beat Weed in the first round, Ward in the second round, Stollard. And then you go and get Strickland and Nikki Hale.
Yeah, there's not a tougher group, that's for sure.
You didn't draw an easy cast, and I just did the math. You had 1,200 plus points. So,
Yeah,
I'm not counting the circle points, just 1,200 plus points where your dog put a coon to the tree. So
yep,
that's that's a pretty amazing task to do, and to do it in that company with a dog that you've only been hunting for 3 weeks is pretty it's pretty amazing.
yeah. And the fact that she, like 3 weeks ago, they were weaning pups off from her just right before they gave her to me. So, yeah, it was just, I hunted her hard for 3 weeks, got her in the best shape I could, and I could tell there at the end of about that third week she was starting to, starting to get right, and it just happened to all fall together at the right time. I mean, she's a good dog, she can hold her own against any, I feel like.
Apparently, apparently, she's she seems like a heck of a dog and something to be proud of. Now, do you have any upcoming hunts? This is September of 2022. If people's listening in the future, but do you have any upcoming hunts you're planning on hitting?
Well, yeah, I mean, I probably ain't gonna do much, and big hunts here, I'm just gonna get ready for the PKC World Hunt, and that's pretty much it. Cody, he owns half the female there, and he's gonna take her to the UKC World Hunt this weekend, at least out to the zones there in Indiana somewhere.
Okay, so
I
people
gotta
can be
work
looking
and
for
can't
her in the
make it.
PKC world and the UKC zones.
Yep, yep.
Okay, what
We're
about the
planning on
puppies?
being both. The puppies, that's another kind of story within it there, I guess. Cody and Kevin, the guy that owns her, they own that. I think they call him Who's Taking Shots, and I think he was 15, 16 months old when Dual Murphy had him, and he won a truck with him that young. A pup
Well,
out of her and Big Money. So them pups are kind of, some special pups. The way I look at it, just 'cause, I mean, she had won a truck now, and that pup had won a truck. Big Money's won a truck. A lot of truck winners there.
oh for sure. Are y'all? Did you? I'm sorry. Did you say y'all was gonna keep them in house, or y'all gonna sell them? Are they gonna sell them, or what's the plan?
uh, they're all sold. I got one here at the house, and
Okay.
I'm gonna try to train the younger litter here.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of good out of the first cross. There was uh, that dog there that I was just talking about that won the truck, and then there was a female they called Gigi that got in the finals of the Super State last year, and then that PayPal dog that Cable had that Ingle and them own now. I mean, there's a lot of good dogs in that litter, and these pups here, I think they're about 12 weeks old. I know he's got a male left for sale, but I think other than that, they're all gone. I think she only had 6 of them, but sound like about everyone in that first litter turned out to be decent dogs. So hopefully we
Nice.
can get a good one.
Well,
So
like, at least people can keep their eyes out and kind of see what happens.
yeah, someone was interested in one. I know they got a male, Kevin Martin and Cody Sheets got it over there. They live in Southern Ohio there.
Awesome. And while we're on here, it's not really related to your dog, but that punch dog and was it Melvin here
Yeah,
lately? Two good dogs is gone way too early. So you
yeah,
know,
it was a sad thing happened over there this weekend for sure. I feel bad for Duel. I know he liked that dog a lot, and I was pretty familiar with that dog because my buddy that I hunt with all the time, Sean Bowers, he started that dog and had him going pretty good there and sold him to Kevin Cable, and then Johnny and Duel ended up with him, and he just took off from there. And done real well with that dog. It's bad. He was a young dog and real good dog. I hate that for them guys.
Yeah. Well, it's tough to find a dog of these caliber, uh, a
Yeah,
caliber of dog that can hunt at this level, I guess you could say. And I know, I mean, I
yeah,
know they're out there, but there's not, near as many as one might think. So,
yeah, yeah. It takes. I mean, it takes a lot of time, and you got to spend a lot of time in the woods with them. That's for
you know,
sure.
and a lot of money. They bring top
Yeah,
dollar. So, you know,
yeah,
it is what it is. I hate it. We we feel bad for them guys, but I know that they'll come back out on top. So,
yeah,
but
yeah. Yeah, they're both good dog guys. They'll have another good one, I'm sure. But
you know,
it's hard to lose a good one. I never got pleasure to hunt with the Punch dog, but I heard a lot about him, and I'm sure he was a real good dog. And it's a bad deal for those guys.
yeah. Well, we interviewed for the life of me, I cannot remember the guy that was hunting Punch, but
What's his name? Josh. Isn't his
Josh.
name
There we
Josh?
go.
Yes.
I interviewed Josh. He won a hunt, and we interviewed him on here. So that wasn't but a month ago. Well, I
Yeah.
guess 2 months
I
ago.
think I might have listened to that one too.
So it it's a tough time. It's a tough time for people that get attached to these animals. They become more than just dogs.
Yeah.
So
Especially those two there. They're traveling with them dogs somewhere all the time. You've seen them,
oh yeah,
posting pictures of them with the dog in the truck. But yeah, you get close to them kind that do good for you when you take them out there.
yes sir. Well, this is I guess we're wrapping it up, Mr. Chad. Is there anybody you want to shout out or anything that you want to say before we get off here?
No, no, I just, yeah, pretty much. I like to thank Kevin Martin and Cody Sheets, for trusting me with their dog and sending her up here and letting me have a shot at hunting for that truck. She's a nice little dog. She's fun to hunt. So I look forward to maybe running her a few more down the road here.
Yes, sir. Sounds like a heck of a thing. So, good luck to you in your future endeavors, and we really appreciate you getting on here. And also, we'd like to thank Pro Sport for hosting these good events. They're top notch, and you know it is what it is as far as uh people say
Yeah,
that
yeah,
spending a lot
yeah.
of
That's a nice
money
thing.
is ruining it, but I think it's helping it. There's a price tag for everybody out there. If you want to hunt a $30 hunt, you can hunt a $30 hunt, and if you want to hunt for big money, you can hunt for big money. So
Yeah, there's something for everyone, but
yeah,
them guys, I mean, it might sound, the entries sound like a lot, but them guys really do, go above and beyond. That's a good hunt they put
you know.
on. Everyone I've been to has been a really good hunt.
Well,
And
Judas was praising the food. He said that they
yeah,
had some good chili and
yeah,
some burgers. So
that guy that cooks out at the Nova Club, everybody around here knows him. Everybody says he's got the best food around at any club. He comes out there and cooks, no matter how big a hunt they have. There's only a couple guys shows up, he'll cook for them.
awesome. Well, Mr. Chad, I'm gonna let you over here. I appreciate you coming on. Congratulations on winning and the new Ford Ranger, and hopefully we can interview you in the future if you go out here and get another win.
All right, thanks, man.
Thank you. You have a good one.
All right,
All
bye.
right, bye.